the Board of Trustees of the Saratoga Springs Public Library. We have some visitors today. Thanks for coming. And we need, when people are speaking, we need to speak up. Apparently the recordings have been a little bit quiet, so I'm definitely guilty of that, but I'm to let everybody else know as well. You speak up. The first item of business is approval of the February 2026 minutes. Everybody get a chance to look at those?
I would move approval.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I second that. Thanks, Katie. All in favor? Aye. Second, we have approval of the expenditures. We paid checks 74467 to 74472, totaling $7,506.22.
You know, if I could interrupt for just
Of
1 minute,
course.
I'm realizing that I put the request for reallocation down under financial reports, but it should come before we spend it.
And you know, I'm realizing that I'm still looking at the old.
At the old one, I'm
Agenda,
sorry, it was the last minute, so just to bring everybody up to speed, at the. After Eric submitted finished his report, we discovered that we were overspent a little bit in repairs and maintenance, and so I'm asking for a reallocation from capital projects to repairs and maintenance to cover that expense and maybe some more for the next couple of months. But I put that under item 4 on the agenda when it should be under item 3.
Okay.
I apologize.
So does anybody have any questions about the reallocation? We'll just bump that right up.
What is the request exactly?
Sure.
Here,
It is to move, reallocate $30,000 from 60045 capital project, sorry, Don. To 60035-1, which is repairs. So we're overspent in the repairs line. And
Okay.
those will be reimbursed. They have to do with the internet stuff that Rick has been talking to us about.
I move to approve the reallocation.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
So it's going to take me a second. Fine. So now we have the prepaid checks, 74467 74472. Totaling $7,506.22. And we have the March, well, I was gonna just let people, their questions.
Oh,
about
okay.
those. But then we also have the March warrants and checks 74474 to 74563, totaling $175,938.28. Any questions or comments on either of those? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the expenditures.
I move to approve the expenditures.
Second. Thank you, Carol. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have approval of the financial reports. Prepaids and temporary warrant summary sheets, the budget report, which we've now just made this reallocation.
Right. And so the budget report you see is before the
Yes.
reallocation.
Right.
And then the income report.
And an unusual thing that you might have a question about in the income report
Yeah.
is the nearly $1 million of taxes is that the March payment came early. It came at the end of February. So next month, when you get the report, there will be a 0. There's no questions. We also have 2 gifts. $50 from Thomas Mullen in memory of Elizabeth Betty Mullen and $30 from Vincent Corcoran. Thank you.
To approve as a package.
Thank you, Terry. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, friends. All in favor? Aye. President's report, I don't have a lot. I wanted to let people know that the ALA is pushing out requests for support to speak with your elected officials at the federal level about federal funding for next year's budget. Paul Tonko for District 20 has been a longtime supporter and has actually like signed on to all of the library funding bills. Senators been less consistent, but so that's something that to do that. Terrific. I don't, should we discuss the letter or is that not just mention that it's
Yeah,
there?
I think maybe since it just came today, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read it.
Okay.
So
We can put that as a table. Okay. And I guess that's correspondence really, public comment, but we do have visitors. Do we have comments, questions?
Just wanted to do a little introduction for those of you who don't know us very well. My name is Irene and I'm a member of the library's teen advisory board. We're a group of teens grades 9 to 12 who meet monthly to discuss teen programs and ways to get more of our peers involved with the library. Together, we've organized many library events where local teens have come together to make friends and enjoy themselves. Every year, we plan a Halloween party, a winter party, and an evening walk-in. Our members also plan monthly book displays, which you may have seen out there. Organize the library's teen summer reading program to encourage our peers to love reading. As a senior and founding member, I'm very proud of what TAB has accomplished, and I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to observe and speak today.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate everything that you all do to make our library a better place for everyone to be part of. I think now we are on to the director.
I don't know if there were any questions about my written report, but so yes, that reallocation comes from, we think we might be, we thought we were there last month, but discovered some more problems with the broken HVAC systems that got fried during the summers, during the storms last summer. Rick thinks they're all done now. There was some added expense, which we again believe will be reimbursed by. So that paperwork has gone through. And if anybody knows Matt Devati, who's the president, and I'm sure he's on the case. So hopefully that will get us something. Saratoga reads. I don't know if Catherine and Jamie will have more to say about it, but it's in full swing. The friends had planned a bus trip on that snowy March or February weekend of the 20th, 21st, I believe. That was snowed out, but it was rescheduled. We think maybe even for a better day in June when we don't think that we'll have weather. But Jen tells us we might have World Cup soccer to contend. But we're looking forward to that. And I was very happy to be able to be present to give Dr. Golden her certificate of the resolution of commendation that you all approved for her. And she brought with her protege, Professor Stephanie Banks, who's from the education department at Skidmore, who will be following up. So she has decided, Dr. Golden, she was gonna leave this year. She's gonna hang around for another year to kind of co-lead the junior portion along with Dr. Banks to bring her up to speed. She's been doing this for us for 20 years. So we were happy to be able to honor her in that way. And she was very delighted. What you say, Catherine?
Oh, she was so pleased. It's great. I'm so glad she's sticking around for one more year.
Yes.
That sometimes that bridge is so valuable.
It is. And then the other thing to bring to your attention, many of us attend this webinar about responding to ICE in the library, which was eye-opening to us in a few ways because up until this point, we thought we were pretty well prepared. We think we probably still are, but everything that we had prepared for before was outward facing, had to do with customers in the library and how we would help guide customers or deal with members of the public if they had encounters with ICE in the library, without really thinking about what we could or should be doing for staff who have these concerns, who might have concerns about encounters with ICE in the building. And the very day that we saw, or the next day after we watched the webinar, I just overheard a conversation between a staff member who had a very unsettling experience with someone kind of following her to work, she felt, who might, she had in her mind that the person might be affiliated with ICE, just the way that they were acting. And she was very nervous about it because she had reason to be. Because she looks different from many of us, and she wasn't carrying her ID that day, and she was just sort of, and so we did get together as a group and think about ways that we could, if there were ICE in the building, reassign staff to parts of the building that aren't open to them, for example. We could examine the way that we are letting staff into the building before we open. We had, well, the elevator was out, someone stationed at the Henry Street door for people who couldn't walk up and down the stairs. So in hours before the building opened, people could come in that way, and if you're parking on that side of the building or in the parking lot on Spring Street, sometimes it's closer than having to walk around the building. We stopped doing that, but off and on, there is somebody there. If there happens to be somebody around, we've decided to make that a permanent thing now, so that if somebody feels like there is a need to get into the building quickly before it's open, then they have a shorter way to get in. So we've been, and also looking at the way people can use their paid time off or scheduling if there's a reason to. So we've been looking closely at, it really was eye-opening, hearing about the experience from the people from the Hennepin County Public Library in Minnesota, where Minneapolis Public Library is. So it was very worthwhile, and it was I don't want to say rare, but it may be kind of semi-rare sort of continuing education thing that we could take immediate action on, that it could have immediate effect in
Is it available? Can board members watch it?
It is not, it was, I have some handouts and in a slide deck that I can share with you.
Yeah, no,
from
it
it.
was just, sounds like a good training.
And
Who put it together?
it was the Public Library Association, so it.
Okay, so not Minnesota based, just.
Correct, and
national.
it did include libraries in Virginia Beach and Wisconsin. So it was Virginia, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So it was more than just the Minnesota. And it was interesting, the other two libraries that were represented were prepared in much the same way that we had been before hearing this presentation from the people in Minnesota. And the state library, and that I will check and see if the state library did do something later that included the director, or was it the state or was it not?
It was the state.
The state did, with, I believe, much of the same information that included the director from the Hennepin County Public Library. So that might be recorded somewhere, and I'll check and see.
The PLA one, if you are an ALA member, which I don't know if any of you are, it is free for you to watch.
And feeding people, not just their minds, but their bodies, our seed library has been depleted. We've, so it went out, and like, how many packets of seeds were out there?
I remember there was like 57 varieties or something, and 100 and something. That's
There were a lot of seeds.
There's a lot.
There were a lot. And so that went up, the seed library for the season went up on the same day that the farm to library fridge was filled for the first time with eggs and cheese and vegetables and apples, and on the shelves there are oats and dried beans and sweet potatoes, and they went real. I think what's out there now, there are some rutabagas and some celeriac. If anybody has a recipe and needs some, and maybe some of the dried beans. So they are sending, and they'll be coming each Wednesday afternoon with the delivery.
And this is from farmers.
This is from farmers, and each week we'll get a list of the producers as well. So it's out there, the farms that the produce is.
It's great. What is picture, what is the bottom, there's a picture underneath that.
Underneath down a little bit.
Yeah, what is?
Oh, this is the ribbon cutting at the Rotary Home and Lifestyle Show.
Okay.
And for some reason, I got to hold it. That's it.
I'm just going back to, the ice issue.
Yes.
I was pleased to see the Know Your Ice materials out on the information.
Yes.
That's, I think that's.
I mean,
Valuable statement.
at this point, I mean, we feel fortunate because we're not thinking of it as an if situation. It's seeming like an eventuality rather than a possibility. So and some of us, particularly the frontline staff, are hyper aware of just the people around them.
I think I'm the sealing materials in chains.
Oh, yes, I'll send them all out to all of the slide deck and the.
Anyone else have questions for us? No. So, Jen, you have anything to add, or if you feel like you can add?
I don't, but if someone wants to project on that side of the room. I mean, the only thing to add about the annual report is today we got the link to the software that we can look at but not touch.
Big
So
steps.
one step at a time.
And, what else? And they extended the, date in which we have to file it to Sal's by a couple of weeks, but we still need to approve the New York State annual report in theory that it will be correct and sent off to Sal. Right, at the meeting.
Anybody have any other questions for Jen? Don, you're up.
I didn't have too much, just doing a lot of little things, catching up from. The bigger things that we did across the winter, Brennan's still working on accessibility things. Training and website preparation for. The end of April when the WCAG. Regulations go into effect for all public entities and their websites and accessibility. So I just threw in, a few accessibility update parts and then just kind of a to-do list of the little things we've been picking away at just to show, the various stuff that we've worked on through the month. If there's any questions, I can have to entertain. The notices are accessible.
They are.
Are.
What was the name of this bill?
The bill itself, I can't recall, I can look it up for you, but
What was
the
the?
WCAG is the, web,
Web content accessibility
thank
guidelines.
you, web content accessibility, yeah.
Something.
That's so fun.
2.0, 2.1 now. Yeah. So,
Is it under a federal agency?
it's a federal,
Is there a particular agency that it's?
DOJ.
Right, well,
There was mention of a webcam on the roof.
oh, yeah, I threw that in there, we put that weather station up last year and I'm preparing a web page for the weather station and its data and its statistics and things. So that got me thinking I could put a webcam on the same pole as the weather station and just have kind of a bird's eye view of the front of the library, the back of the library. So I've been testing a couple different types of cameras and spots to put it in. We're kind of limited because where I could reach a cable so that I could stream the video. It's right alongside the elevator or the cooling tower. And there's a giant tree in there. So if I put it straight up above us where the weather station is. I can't run a cable to that without putting holes in the building and we're getting really mad. So it would be a Wi-Fi camera. And you don't really stream from Wi-Fi cameras. You can do snapshots over time and things, which I might still try that out. But, you know,
It probably wouldn't have enough resolution to be able to identify.
no. No, it's like you see the beach cams and the, you know, Cancun and, you know.
I think it's quite the same.
That's why we'll be able to tell you at the time whether there's a space available.
If you wanna cut down all the trees. So just kind of a neat thing to throw on with the weather station, you know, it's nominal for cost and things like that, but. I'm not sure it's gonna work out, but I was just looking at it to see.
So is the idea that it supplements the weather station, so you can sort of see the weather in real time?
Yeah, exactly, the camera would be right next to the weather station, it's exactly what you're seeing when it's recording.
Thanks.
One of the other things that we're working on in terms of accessibility is, and it's still in its infancy stage, trying to figure out if there's a way to. Format the monthly reports that you get from the departments so that they follow the same sort of pattern, whether that means filling out a form and printing differently. Just to let you know that in the future, the reports that you get might look a little bit different if we are trying to make them all accessible. Line as well as on.
I sat through a demo of one of those services today, it was really nifty and everything. Is shiny and pretty and mostly accessible. They still can't get it 100%, but a lot of their display is web-based. With like my report would be a PDF, but it could also type it all out. So the web-based features would be accessible, whereas PDF would be there for either printing or storage. So we, you know, it's gonna be a little slog to see what we can do, and that particular one started at about $7,000 a year. So it might be an answer for us.
Right, and then the tricky part, as you can imagine, for us is tables and charts, which a lot of the reports are making them screen, you know, so that you get an audible version of them. It's a little bit tricky. And images, that's important.
Trevor.
Okay. So I do want to share something that's not in my written report. This is really quick, but Marion Rockwell had forwarded me a message from one of her students, a student of hers that she was with us about 7 years ago. And at that time she went back to Brazil. And she is recently returned to the area. She's married to a Skidmore professor, has 2 kids, and she reached out to Marion with this lovely message that I got permission from both Marianne and Marciana to share with everybody today. And so it's just a simple, lovely message, and it says, "Hi, Marianne. Thank you for the wonderful class yesterday. I was thinking, around a year ago, I started my English class, and English has improved a lot. My day has changed, my life has changed. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for the volunteers. Your work is really important to me and to all. You and volunteers make the difference. Have a nice day. Love, Marciana." So just these little things, and as you know, I think all of us, when we interact with people, you know, or have story hour families, you know, teens in the teen room, adult students, and having somebody give you that feedback, you haven't heard from somebody in a long time, and somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, you know, that thing that you did in the library, that thing that we did, that really meant a lot." That doesn't happen that often, so it does, it's just like this wonderful thing, so, yeah, just wanted to share that with everyone, so. And were there any questions? I have a lot of bullet points, I have so many bullet points, just everybody kind of glared though. I know Jenna was looking forward to this kind of weather, so she can get back out. It's been a hard winter, you know, we had some cancellations with mobile library, or times she's been able to get out to various stops. The people didn't want to leave their homes, you know, to go to the van, which is very close to them, not, you know, not here, so. So yeah, things are looking up, her attitude is, you know, really hopeful, so.
Do you have some questions, Trevor, about anything in the report? Oh, I actually, 5 minutes.
So on the maple syrup floor, is that both down?
Yeah.
Maybe yes.
Sorry. Like, oh, is there syrup involved?
And I always.
Yeah.
So there's no school that day, so you might have a lot of friends. Not that I'm.
All right, anybody else? Okay, Catherine.
I don't have too much else to add. As I mentioned, we just about completed Saratoga Reach Junior. We start a little earlier than adult services, so we're usually wrapped up. We do still have some of the art that some of the kids made, illustrating some thoughts they had about the book downstairs. So if you take a walk around, you can admire some of it. We had a really fun time this year. And we're extremely excited that Catherine's gonna stay one more year. I have to say thank you again for the commendation for her. She was so touched. Like, I don't know if it's the kind of thing that everyone would be so touched by, but she's the kind of person who I knew would appreciate it. So thank you. We are planning summer, believe it or not. We only spend there's only 1 month I don't work on summer reading. But the next thing on my agenda for planning summer reading is our promotional video, and I'm looking for guest stars. So if there's anyone that would like to star in the summer reading promotional video, you know where to find me. You may or may not want to wear a dinosaur costume. You know, there's no judgment.
Is that the theme this summer is dinosaurs?
It's like a digging kind of theme, so you'll see a lot of dinosaurs, a lot of rocks and dirt.
And you're specifically looking for volunteers to wear the dinosaur costumes? I'm just saying.
See, every year we find a role for everyone. So if the role for you is in a dinosaur costume, role for you might be holding a shovel, and you know, it depends on your talents and your interests. Last year we sang a song that we made up, and I'm still not sure why, but it was really good.
Amy. Like I already mentioned it, but March 21st, 2 p.m. Gannett Auditorium is our capstone event for Saratoga Reads. Would love to be there. There's only about 29 seats left as of this afternoon when I looked. So that's really exciting. And so yes, Sam Montgomery will be there. She's gonna give a great talk. We've had fantastic turnout at our programs. Thank you, Heather, for coming to several of them. That's been great. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. We're in tax season.
Questions? I really like your book selection, by the way.
Mine?
Your note underneath.
Oh. I have a problem.
You just need to stay up later. You're not gonna.
I'm like, I better read something different. I don't.
And Rick is not here. But we talked a little bit about the HVAC units. Go on to Kelly.
I don't have much to add, but we do have a new cleaner to appoint. Jacob.
And that's also under new business, right? You guys will do that now, right? Or do we do? We can do it now.
Whatever your question is.
We can just do it now. I need a motion to appoint Jacob Arbudo, the cleaner.
I so moved.
Thank you, Katie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Terry. All in favor? Anything else we should know? Maybe a second to scroll all the way back to the beginning. Okay. We do not have any special reports. Unfinished business. I do want to give us an update on the audit for 2025.
I can just tell you that there has been a little bit of a delay in getting the audit completed. Each time we think we're done, something else pops up. The latest question has been to do, there's a new GASB rule about accounting for unused vacation time. That will affect the bottom line. We got a new request to get some information about that, about the last couple of years of data about used vacations, so we can calculate what percentage might have been unused that we would have to carry as a liability. And that request came on Monday. We do hope to, I spoke with the auditors last week, and they said we should at least have a draft of the financial statements by next Monday's budget workshop, so that you know, you have an idea of where we're starting. We're still in a very good position financially, it's just getting it all documented.
The people, can they cash in unused vacation time
They
at
can't-
the end, or?
They cannot, no, so we do have a policy that there is a cap on the amount of vacation that people can accrue, up to 420 hours, I think. And at time of separation, the maximum payout is 210. So there is a max. We used to have a buyback situation, but it became very complicated and kind of a backdoor way for people to get rid of.
So that's the liability.
It's pretty expensive.
All right, new business.
So the oath of office for Tanya has taken an oath of office before. She and Sue have been kind of working in tandem. Sue has been doing a lot of the election related stuff. Which she would like not do anymore, since it falls into Tanya's job description. We thought it would be a good idea just to reappoint Tanya as the library district clerk. We don't have the oath of office with us today, but Jamie will be here tomorrow and Tanya will be here tomorrow. And if you all want to take an action to reappoint Tanya as the clerk, Jamie can give her the oath of office tomorrow.
Would somebody like to make a motion? Carol, is there a second? Thank you, Frank. All in favor? Aye.
And can I just ask, was a budget workshop scheduled already?
It was last month, we scheduled it for next week, next Monday at 5.
I didn't know. I don't think I did either. That's a great one.
Sounds deep. Did everybody get a chance to look over the draft report to the state? And it's some.
So as you can see, it's very drafty.
There's some whiteout involved.
But it seems like very shortly, we should have the real, ability to do the data entry to get it into a form. We don't know yet exactly what the form will look like, but we're assuming that it will have all of the same information. And you all have done this in the past. What we would ask is for a motion to approve it with the caveat that changes that, there might be minor changes once we get the financial statements back from the auditors. And if there are any other changes that the state is asking questions that we didn't anticipate. And if there are substantial or material changes, we would of course bring it back.
I move to, approve the draft. Audit, not audit. State report. And, that's where we go, right, state report?
Second, that.
Thank you, Karen. All in favor?
Was sympathy to Jen.
Yeah.
If it is, or it's not.
I mean, if you look at the numbers, you'll see that the circulation kind of transaction numbers are very similar
Yeah.
from one year to the next year. Where there are big changes in program attendance and outreach and the one-on-one English language learning classes where there are pretty significant.
I wonder though, Jen, with the new system, if it will default with some of the yes, no things. You know what I mean, the following year?
So we have access to it, I can't, because it's locked, I can't see what is in there, it looks completely different, I hope it's intuitive. But I mean, I'm just picking it out, like, the fact that they have ends for like one question and then no or yes for the next question, is just, I don't know where it came from, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can standardize why, and I think. Is supposed to transfer over, I don't know when they took data from one software program to the next, how much they were able to bring over. So we might be starting from scratch, I don't even know if they're gonna show last year's numbers
Okay.
on the report for us.
Okay. Thank you for.
You're welcome. Jamie's helping me this year, so.
Yay, that's good.
Team effort.
All right. Only thing we have left is adjourn and go into executive session unless there's anything. Sorry, any last comments, questions, updates? Did you mention something about a tour of the new? Yes, so we'll adjourn. No, we'll adjourn and before we go into executive session, we'll take. Go down.
Yes, any questions? We all know exactly what happened here today.
Okay, there's no quiz.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.